All right, so Nick here from Insomnia TV, and we are going to hit the Central South Shore Long Island. Don't mind me, I'm just cleaning. I took a bunch of stuff out of my glove box. Gonna need this for the GoPro. How's my battery? Battery's good. So I've gone I've gone more than a couple times. I've gone about 10 times fishing South Shore and for striped bass, and I've caught 6 striped bass, 2 of which were over the slot limit of 28 inches. Those of you who know me know that I don't really keep them, and there's plenty of fish this season, so I'm not going to worry about keeping or worry about an opportunity of not catching them. So what are we talking about today? Well, we talk about how I drove into a bush and scratched the whole side of my truck, but we're not going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about conditions, what we're fishing, how we're fishing. See, high tide's at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30ish. That's on the outer beach, so that means we're catching the falling tide. If I do it backwards, that means that high tide is at, top of the high tide is at, top of the high tide would be 1:30, so that means low tide is at now. Low tide is now. Normally you want to catch the, now 6:30, 7:50. We got the last hour of the outgoing. You want to fish the outgoing. You normally want to fish the first 2 hours of the outgoing in the spring because the water warms up in the bay, bait fish get active, bass get active, they chase, and the water temperature warms up more in the bay than it does in the ocean side. So you want to catch the fish when they're going to be their most active. Right now, last hour of the outgoing on the switch, sun's going down in about an hour and a half. Conditions sound pretty good. Wind died down. Yesterday we went fished the incoming, and it was terrible. I mean, just terrible. I got 1 tap. So anyway, what are we going to do with today? I might start off with poppers because I'm probably going to fish. I wanted to fish the bay side, depending on the amount of people that are down there fishing, which yesterday was insane. I might just fish the outer beach and work some of the wave breaks and outflows and inflows that are on the outer beach. Water's calm, I'll throw a popper. If we have a little bit of rollers, I'll probably throw a needle on. But they're feeding on bunker. Their profile is bunker anywhere between 6 to 9 inches. So they're feeding on something a little bigger than peanut bunker to regular sized bunker. Also, I heard there are some mackerel. So I think a bigger profile will probably fit the bill. Yeah, like I said, I'll start off with poppers, probably some swimmers, that's what I do. I work poppers, swimmers, bucktails, bass assassins, diamond jigs. Picked up 2 fish, 28 and 20, about 20, respectively, between 27 and 30 inches the other day. So that was fun. On diamond jigs, white diamond jigs. Now that I say that, my viewers, the people that see this, are going to throw white diamond jigs. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to work different lures for different occasions. White always is my go-to color. I don't care what you're fishing. Poppers, I like to use white. I used to like to use, depends on the year, white with red. I'll use light blue poppers, mother of pearl poppers. Depending on the end of the season, I'll throw like a darker blue. Cotton Cordell, pencil poppers, Super Strike, Tsunami makes great poppers. The Cotton Cordell ones you can really just get them to dance on top of the water. Tsunami ones are more like a pop. So it depends on what application. If you want that thing to dance and walk the dog and go crazy, throw on a Cotton Cordell. I usually do that on the bay side and pretty good current. On the ocean side, I'll throw something with a little bit more weight to it, a Super Strike, something like a bottleneck, something real, So I'll throw you on the chest piece and hopefully see me catch a fish. I would like to get into some bluefish just because I feel like everybody's catching them, but they're not out here yet, which is weird because it's to go into the middle of May. We catch bluefish last year in late April, but I think there's, and I'm pretty sure that I'm accurate when I say this. The fish are west of here, and normally they would have made it down here, but there's a big body of bait fish that are sitting still west, and they haven't moved, so the fish haven't moved. Why would they? But hopefully that body continues on its path of a slow, very slow movement east. South Shore Long Island, the fish travel east and north, or west to east and then north, or east to west and then south, depending on the time of the year. I'm hoping that body, normally that body of fish moves very quickly, but they seem to have stagnated in the Long Beach area, coming out of the Hudson to Long Beach, the Howard Beach, a little bit in Sunken Meadow, but as far as coming out east, you know, Riches, Shinnecock, I haven't seen them. But that's a good thing. Hopefully they'll come towards us and hang out for a couple of weeks like they've been doing out there. Those guys are all catching 30-plus pound fish. So if you are west of Central South Shore Long Island, you should be in the fish. And if I was you, I'd be going early in the morning from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, depending on the tide, depending on where you're fishing. You know, I like an incoming tide. I like to work the top of the tide during the morning hours on the outer beach. I like to work on the springtime. I like to work an outgoing tide in the inlets at night. Choice is yours, obviously, but that's what I would do. Some guys having a lot of luck with the paddle tail shad, flapping paddle, whatever, I don't know what they're called. Tsunami makes them, Savage makes them, some other Hurricane makes them, but they all do the same thing. They swim, they paddle. Those are pretty good, and a lot of guys are having luck with those for, you know, your decent fish up to a keeper size. Other than that, we're just waiting for these big fish to come on through. I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to work it through sundown. I like to work the tides as well as the moon phases and sunrise and sunsets. You never know. I went last night. I worked the night shift and it didn't pay off. So tide was wrong. That's why I'm trying to see what we can come up with now. Anyway, Nick here, Finsomnia TV. Check out the Instagram, Finsomnia_TV. You guys can DM me your fishing pictures. And any suggestions or, you know, whatever you got. Oh, gear today we're using, I have a Van Staal 300 bailless strapped to a Tsunami Airwave Elite with a 30-pound Super Slick Power Pro. And we're going to be throwing, if we're going to hit the beach, so we're going to be throwing the some poppers to start if the waves are working with us. I like a low, slow roller. I'm not going to throw poppers into 4-foot standing waves, but apparently that's not the case right now. If the waves are a little hairy, we have a nice sweep. I will throw on a bucktail, probably white, 1 ounce, 1.5 ounce, depends. But this setup works great for that. Now, it is one of my nicer setups because I love the rod. People who are using the Airwave Elite, it's a 10.6 Airwave Elite. Nobody has a complaint. The regular Airwaves, I'm not a fan of. I went through 2 of them. Both the tips broke, and I'm very good with my rods. Not these. These are my bullshit rods, but I'm very, you know, I always break them down. I always clean them off. I have a pretty good rod rack that I keep them very secure, and yeah, both times they broke. So I'm not a big fan. It's a great stick. It's a great stick if you don't break it, for whatever that's worth. I also had a St. Croix. What did I have? Trophy Surf, entry level St. Croix. Had that rod for 3 seasons. The not the neck. What is it called? Where you put the reel on? Spun. Broke loose, and then I had a pin popped in it and it glued so that it wouldn't spin anymore. And then that season it broke up it shattered on a cast. So it must have been a hairline fracture in that rod. But I had that a couple of seasons. Good rod. Wasn't so sensitive. I love this Airwave Elite. I have a friend of mine that has a Rana Era, Lamont glass, nice rod. But it's, as far as sensitivity and what I needed to do, I mean, I've hoisted some big fish with this rod and needed to feel real sensitive bottom, and it does it all. So I'm a big advocate of Tsunami's product. And as far as Van Staal's concerned, I mean, it's time tested and proven that is one of the best reels to use in the surf. I'm also a very big Penn guy. I love the Penn rods and reels, but you get what you get with Penn. You know what you're getting, so you have to break them down. You have to clean them off. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So we're about 20 minutes out. I'm gonna stop and get gas, and then work the sundown. Hopefully, we can put on some fish. I have stated on previous occasions this GoPro is bad luck, so it's good on the freshwater side. I've put some trout on it. If you guys check the videos, hopefully we catch some fish.